Dragons were always bringing more bad than good into our world. Even though they are a phenomenal sight, they remain selfish and work only with their own kind. Humans were among the most devoted races to exterminate the dragon plague from this world. A certain dragon slayer, Knight Davian, was the best human dragon hunter in all the land. He grew rich and famous due to his amazing strength and fighting skills. His mithril armor gave him a special protection from the fierce dragon fire, while his sword, made out of a special element from the fallen meteor, pierced through all types of dragon flesh. Few know the actual story behind his hate towards the dragons. Some say an old and ancient dragon, dubbed an eldworm, killed his parents when he was a young boy. Others say that he simply wants to enter legends and songs by killing these flying beasts. Few people know the true story, a story that will soon be revealed to all. The Dragon Slayer was so brilliant in his job that he killed all the region's dragons while saving dozens of villages and hundreds of lives. However, there was a certain dragon, the biggest and most dangerous of them all, the Eldworm. Knight Davian saw him only once when he was just a small boy. He could see a huge figure through the fire clouds that was wrecking everything in its path. Its head bigger than the houses it destroyed and wings that could bring a complete darkness if spread. This Eldworm was the final goal of his conquest, and he knew that the day they would come face to face on the battlefield would be upon him soon. Then, 40 years later, our knight spotted strange footprints in the nearby fields. This dragon was extremely close to the nearby village, but no harm was done to its inhabitants. This was the first time he saw a dragon come so close to civilization without doing any harm. But then he realized something else, something much more important. These prints were the biggest he had ever seen. They were so enormous they could only belong to one beast. He was sure that these footmarks were of his old enemy, the Eldworm. After a few days of preparation, he started a long journey to find this monster, one of the last living dragons. He walked tirelessly for weeks, driven by the fire within his chest. During the months of travel, he would see the same dragon prints from time to time, but the nearby villages were all intact, and offered no word of dragons passing by. Knight Davian became confused, as he had never heard of a peaceful dragon before. Not that he cared. He had his mission. His quest was as clear as the day, and all that he could think about was piercing his sword through the heart of this strange creature. After some rest, he continued his journey to the distant lands, following the steps of his great foe. However, after years on the trail of the legendary Eldworm, the skilled dragon slayer found himself facing a disappointing foe. The dreaded Slyrak had grown ancient and frail, its wings tattered, its few remaining scales stricken with scale rot, its fangs ground to nubs, and its fire gouts no more threatening than a pack of wet matchsticks. Seeing no honor to be gained in murder, the young knight prepared to turn away and leave his old foe to die in peace. But a voice crept into his thoughts, and Slyrak gave a whispered plea that the knight might honor him with death in combat. The knight agreed, and found himself rewarded beyond expectation for his act of mercy. As he sank his blade in Slyrak's breast, the dragon sank a claw into his throat. As their blood mingled, Slyrak sent his power out along the blood route, offering all its strength and centuries of wisdom to the knight. The dragon's death sealed their bond, and Dragon Knight was born.
Live by the sword, die by the dragon.